Well, good afternoon. Just want to give you a quick heads up. At 4 o'clock, going to give you another update. Of course, 69 News starts at 5 o'clock, and then once the news is over, 7, 8, 9 o'clock updates on the hour. 10 o'clock news, of course, and then overnight, we'll be giving you updates overnight on the AccuWeather channel 24/7, as we always do. Fresh updates, checking out the radar, satellite, what's happening every 15 minutes. A meteorologist, then you can see the satellite radar every 2-3 minutes. So check it out. Stay with us, and it looks like this storm's going to continue through and into your Wednesday. What we've had so far, just a small taste. Way out in front of the storm itself, which is well back to the south and west. Winter storm warning in effect through Wednesday evening. Traveling, we expect, will deteriorate. So far, again, just a bit of light snow. And if you were with me last night at 10 o'clock, we could clearly see that there could be the opportunity for just a bit of snow, light snow out in front of it. Again, the storm itself just getting underway, developing. Again, has plenty of room before it makes it anywhere close to us, while a secondary storm will form off the coast of Cape Hatteras, off of South Carolina, and make its way up the eastern seaboard. All of that coming together to spell snow, and then over to sleet later tonight, and then back to snow by tomorrow. And boy, it's going to be a messy situation. Here's the circulation of the primary low right now back here to our south and west. And again, we're keeping a close eye here. We expect redevelopment of a secondary storm off the coast, and that will transfer off its energy as that pulls north and east. But clearly you can see we've just been on the fringe, just giving us, again, a bit of light snow, and at times it could come down pretty hard, but just generally light snow. But as we see things continue to moisten up, we'll see as we progress, particularly into the evening, late evening, and especially into the overnight hours. But once we get to about 10, 11, 12 o'clock tonight, we expect enough warm air aloft to move in, although it stays well below freezing at the surface. Enough warm air aloft that we'll be talking about a mix or change to some sleet. Further south in our viewing area, Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, in towards Philadelphia, may just go to freezing rain, and boy, that's real treacherous, because freezing rain can just develop a glaze. That's where liquid falls into the surface that's below 32 degrees and freezes on contact. You can't get any traction when you got just a glaze or a sheet of ice, whereas sleet, at least there's a texture to it, the pellets, and you can at least still get some traction, although it's traveling, we expect it to deteriorate pretty significantly. Look at the last 12 hours. Again, a lot of this didn't initially make it to the ground. Then as the morning wore on and into the afternoon, we had, again, just some light snow. We're watching this carefully, starting to see some of this fill in, and it's going to take a while, so which is why we're saying, and we said all during the day yesterday, mid-afternoon into the early evening hours, we expected the steadiest precipitation to develop anyway. So what we've got going on right now, just generally some light precipitation that will continue to pick up, though, as we get into the evening and overnight hours. Now, here's just some keys to the storm. Warmer air we do expect to mix in aloft, which will change us from snow over to sleet, further south to some freezing rain. That will occur southeast first, and then much later northwestern parts of our area. Now we expect it to go snow through late tonight, then changing to sleet in a mix overnight, and back to snow sometime maybe late morning, early afternoon. The timing of all these changes will determine how much we see. So we can only give you an idea at this point in time of how much we expect. Poconos on north, we'll see that changeover much later. As a result, higher snowfall totals. 4 to 8 inches. Again, we've been saying that we like the lower end because we think that changeover will take place 10, 11 o'clock. And as a result, we maybe get 4 or 5 inches, 3, 4, 5 inches of snow before we change over to sleet. But again, that timing of when that changeover takes place will determine all of these numbers. And then further south, you go 2 to 4, 1 to 3 inch amounts before we see that changeover. Because that changeover is going to happen. That warmer air is going to move in aloft, southeast to northwest, moving in this direction, which is why you can understand why we would expect to see higher amounts of snow before that changeover takes place. But we'll be here analyzing it, dissecting it. Believe me, we're just studying the radar minute by minute as every image comes in, satellite, the water vapor loop, all the information you need to know, all the latest model information, and we'll give you the latest. Again, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 69 News starts, and then 7, 8, 9 updates on the hour, and then, of course, on 69 News starting at 10, and then during the overnight on the AccuWeather channel. So stay with us. Be safe out there. Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for staying with us. On the hour here, we've been giving you updates since the noon news, and we'll continue. Of course, 69 News at 5 starts at 5 o'clock, and so lots of just a comprehensive report of what's happening in our area. And we've got tag team Mark Schinenberger's in here as well. He'll be in here. We'll be doing kind of tag team updates, what's happening throughout the region, really comprehensive reports as we've been just really analyzing this storm well before it arrived, and we'll continue to give you updates once the news is over tonight at 7 o'clock on the hour, 8, 9, leading up to 69 News starting at 10 o'clock. So I encourage you, invite you to tune in at that time. And then throughout the entire overnight, every 15 minutes, fresh updates from a local meteorologist as we'll just be giving you, again, comprehensive reports. I want to encourage you to email us your reports. You can go to WFMZ.com. There's a little button there that email what's happening in your area. You can give us totals of what's happening. Very complicated storm, but we'll give you the very latest here and tell you what we expect. 25 degrees right now, winds out of the east-northeast 9. Winter storm warning, all counties in our viewing area now through Wednesday evening. It looks like this storm will continue at least into the early part of Wednesday evening, but traveling conditions will continue to deteriorate as we head on into the evening hours. You can see all of these counties. There is a flood watch now issued for surrounding counties in and around Philadelphia, as we expect again there in those areas, probably changing from snow to sleet to freezing rain and possibly just some plain rain again, mainly south and east of Philadelphia. There will be a narrow band, as I said, that's going to set up, it's right through our area, oftentimes the case with winter storm, which is why forecasting is such a challenge here in our area. But again, we're doing our very best to give you the very latest of what we anticipate. Real quickly, past 24 hours, here's that center of at least the first storm as that curls up towards the Tennessee Valley, already seeing off the coast of Georgia. Pressures are starting to drop. That's an indication that a secondary storm will start to get its act together, make its way up off the Carolina coast and pull northeast. If that continues to occur, we'll see kind of a handoff, a transfer of some of this energy, and you'll kind of see it kind of merge together. And all of this, what we've been waiting for is some of this to fill in here, and we are starting to see that to occur. When we were talking about 1 o'clock earlier, we had just a little bit of precipitation out in front of this storm, and I told you at 10 o'clock last night, look for that. A little bit of light snow or flurries throughout the morning into the early afternoon. We expected the steady precipitation to arrive, I said, after 2 o'clock from mid-afternoon into the early evening hours, and that's what we're seeing now, that development of some of that steadier precipitation, steadier snow moving into our area. Last 24 hours, you can see, again, another look at it, some of this lighter precipitation moving into our area during the morning hours, and again, that heavier, steadier precipitation is going to be moving in here through the evening, overnight hours. Now, here's where it gets tricky. This low pressure moves up, and again, secondary forms and move up off the coast. But where it gets real tricky is we're going to get a change from snow over to sleet, and expect that to occur for you guys towards Philadelphia as early as 8 or 9 o'clock. Berks, Lehigh Valley area may not occur till 11, 12, 1 a.m. As soon as that changes, that's of course going to change us down to sleet. That'll pack down some of the snow that we'll have in place by that point in time. And by the time it's said and done, we're going to change back to some snow for a period tomorrow, probably around midday. So it gets very, very tricky. But total accumulations of snow to sleet to snow, really complicated, but we expect total accumulations in the Poconos because that change over to sleet, you guys in the Poconos, may not occur until 4, 5, 6 a.m. We think 8 to 12 total. Berks, Lehigh Valley, going to be in that 4 to 8 inch range. Again, total accumulation between the first front end snow, the sleet, and then the back end snow. 2 to 4 for northern parts of Buxmont, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, right around Philadelphia of just mess. And I think the southern parts of our area could get freezing rain, which could lead to significant ice accumulation. A lot more details, of course, the latest news and sports on 69 News. That starts at 5 o'clock. Again, updates 7, 8, 9 o'clock on the hour. 10 o'clock, the news starts again. And, of course, on the AccuWeather channel, we want to make sure that, again, we continue to provide you the freshest information here in eastern Pennsylvania, western New Jersey. We thank you so much for considering us your source of weather here in our area. Hopefully you see at the top of 5 o'clock for the news. In the meantime, be safe out there.